All right, my guys, let's talk about another important topic. So chances are you're single, but you want to find a partner, maybe a lover. So what do? You pick up your phone, you open it up, and then you look through one of the many dating apps that you've downloaded. I mean, there's a myriad of them. And then you start swiping. And after all these apps with all these promises to solve the problem of singleness, you're still single, right? They promise you'll find the one with just the right combination of pictures, the most witty bio, and some stupid banter between you and a woman. But let's pause for just a second and look at the numbers here. As of 2023, over 300 million people worldwide were using dating apps. And out of those, around 20 million are even paying for premium services because apparently love now comes with a subscription fee. It used to be free for the app, but now you have to pay. But see, here in the US, there are over 60 million people who are using online dating services, and the industry has ranked in revenue $5.3 billion as of 2022. So it seems like it's no longer about meeting people for dating, it's about making money. Yet despite all this swiping, matching, and chatting, 46.4% of US adults are still freaking single. Can you believe that? That's almost half of all the adults in the United States. So let me say it louder. The people in the back, half the population is still single despite all these dating apps. What the hell? So why isn't online dating working? Well, with all the technology, are we still struggling to form meaningful connections? Well, today we're going to dive deep into this topic, and spoiler alert, the problem isn't just the apps. Guess what? The problem is also you, so be prepared. So start with yourself. Let's start with the power of self-worth. Let's start with this harsh truth and let's just rip the Band-Aid off and let's get the things going. If you're looking at yourself as a piece of trash, as an everyday thing, then why would anyone else see you as something valuable? The world doesn't want what's common. The world craves what is rare. So if you're not valuing yourself properly, why the hell should anyone else? I mean, think about it. You see, here's the thing. You need to become the kind of man who doesn't need anyone. You don't need someone's approval. You don't need someone's validation. You don't need their gratitude. And you need to learn how to be unapologetically authentic and not rooted in the fear of what others might think or feel about you when you're acting like yourself and not being some diluted version of someone you're not. Because let's be honest, we live in a world that constantly tells us we should seek validation from others. I mean, we have social media, which is built on principles about likes, follows, shares, comments, and they become the currency of self-worth. And yet, here's what you're missing about this whole thing. True self-confidence, that doesn't come from external validation about getting a like or a share or some stupid shit like that. It comes from knowing that deep down that you're enough just as you are. You don't need someone else to tell you that. So let's take a shift from a perspective where you're being reactive to one where you're being proactive. You see, when you stop texting others first, when you stop caring whether or not they reach out to you, and you stop wasting your time chasing people who don't fucking value you, something amazing happens. You shift from being reactive to proactive. You stop chasing affection and you start building a life where you don't need anyone's approval to feel complete or competent. And this is where the real power begins. You're no longer waiting around for someone who doesn't care, for waiting for a call that doesn't happen, so waiting for someone who doesn't see your worth, and you may or may not get validated by them anyway, but why would you? Who cares what they think? Instead, you're pouring all that energy into yourself now. That's where you start to develop your goals in life. So here is the thing. The key is solitude. And here's what most men never fully realize. The key to becoming truly attractive isn't found in someone else's approval. It's found in solitude. It's found in being alone. Most men are so freaking terrified of being alone because they don't know who they are without someone else telling them who they are with the validation aspect. They're so afraid of silence, of stillness, of emptiness. But you see, in that silence lies something powerful. That's the actual time and space for you to reflect and grow. Solitude is not punishment. It's not about being a loser. It's where you build yourself. It's where you take control of your body. You take control of your mind. You take control of your spirit. And in solitude, you stop being desperate for other people's time, attention, or love. And you start building a life that fulfills you. I mean, what do you like to do? Stop worrying about what everyone else wants to do. What do you want to do? And you see, guess what? When you start doing that kind of stuff, guess what happens? People start to notice. And there is then the shift in energy. When you stop seeking validation and when you start focusing on your own purpose, people instinctively sense it because you're no longer chasing their approval, and suddenly you're commanding respect. And this isn't about telling people that you're valuable. It's about showing them through your actions, about your confidence and your presence. It'll resonate like a magnet. People will be drawn to you. And let me clarify, I'm not saying that you need to become some kind of hermit. You don't need to shut everyone out of your life. But what I am saying, my friend, is that you need to stop chasing people who don't appreciate your time and they don't value you. You need to stand strong and value yourself first. That is it. It is that simple. So remember in the beginning I talked about, we're going to talk about 7 problems with online dating that aren't related to you. So here we are. So let's take a break. Let's break it down for the biggest issues with online dating and why it's not freaking the magical solution that most people think. One is quantity over quality. You see, dating apps give you access to an overwhelming number of potential matches, and this creates choice overload, where there are too many options to make it harder to commit. You're constantly wondering if the next swipe could be someone better, that you might align with better, and so you always disregard the one you're with. Now, second, it sets unrealistic expectations because guess what? People use filters. People curate an idolized version of themselves on their profile, and the result is you're fucking disappointed when the reality doesn't match the image when you show up for the first date. There's also 3, a change in social norms. Modern society has shifted away from traditional relationship models. People are now delaying marriage where the average age for a woman is 28 and it's 30 for men. And now they're often prioritizing independence over relationships, so that causes another problem. And then 4, there's emotional burnout. Let's face it, online dating can be exhausting. I know it was when I was doing it. Rejection, fatigue, ghosting, superficial interactions, all that shit leaves you feeling disheartened and unmotivated. Like, why do you want to fuck with it? Number 5, misalignment of attentions. You see, not everyone's on an online dating app is looking for the same thing. Some want hookups, others want long-term relationships, and this mismatch can often lead to frustration. I know it surely does for me. Now, number 6 is cultural and economic factors, which have to do with financial instability, which discourages many people from pursuing serious relationships. And to add to that, that cultural shift towards prioritizing towards personal growth, where fewer and fewer people are actually looking to settle down. They're looking for situationships, short-term flings with short-term results. 7 is the algorithm limitations. Dating apps rely on superficial data to make matches. They might just suggest people find you attractive, but they rarely account for the deeper compatibility factors like shared values, like do you both enjoy going to the gym? Do you like reading books? So that gets in the way of things. So the real solution? So what's the fucking answer? Maybe I know, maybe I don't know. But what I do know is it starts with you. 1, stop chasing validation. 2, learn to value yourself. 3, build a life that fulfills you physically, mentally, and emotionally. 4, use online dating as a tool and not a crutch. And when you focus on becoming your best version of yourself, and when you stop relying on others to make you feel complete, you attract people naturally. Because guess what? Confidence and purpose, like I said, are magnetic, and people will be drawn to that. So here are my final thoughts. Online dating might connect you with people, but it's not the solution to singleness. The real solution is building yourself up, finding purpose in your solitude, and then learning to value yourself first. When you stop chasing and you start leading, everything changes for you. And for this, you have to trust me. If any of this resonated with you, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Diaries of Masculine Men. And drop a comment below with your thoughts or maybe your worst dating freaking app experience. Let's share some stories. Let's continue the conversation, and let's build a community of men who lead with purpose, who lead with strength and authenticity. Now, until next time, stop swiping aimlessly and start building a life of worth and value. My friends, you've got this. So do it.